Sinatubas, here comes the back, and the back plus the kill tap has landed. Boy, and the Talon Slane gonna go in for the kill, and that is gonna be Demigod. So Teleport also comes in as well. Nocturne with the Pyro, pushes the gap in, let's secure the... Oh! Okay, there's a flash in, and big comes, habol dito. Wow, the damage.
Kamusta mga Summoners? Welcome dito sa Garena LoL Collegiate League 2017 Summer Term, and quite the number of interesting games that we have for you today as we head into the semifinals but rather for the South Conference. But before we get into that, of course, papakilala ko muna kami yung maging casters niyo for today. I'm Arctic at your service fam. With me is Chisto, and yeah, we'll just have to see kung sino ang eventually mag-proceed sa finals for the South Conference.
Okay, as the South Conference progressed, we actually saw these four teams go on a four-way tiebreak, and during the tiebreak stage, SCT unfortunately weren't able to compete in their matches, which ended in, I believe, UPLB taking the top spot.
Man, overall, it's interesting though, because if you're gonna look at the South Conference, may mga teams na you'd think would make it up to the top four. Like, for example, you have Our Lady of Fatima University, who has been a consistent contender in the past years, but suddenly not even finding themselves in the top four. So, interesting how things kind of went down to South Conference.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out, SCT is their first split and the LCL, and they're already making the playoffs. They show it's good to see newcomers into the LCL. That means that the level of competition is rising, but now we will jump straight into pick and ban, and right away, Ornn. We know Ornn is a very popular pick in the preseason, and he's a very strong top laner in my opinion. So DLSUD not wanting to deal with that pick just banned it away.
Not at all. Meanwhile, looking at things, the Zed as well, gonna be banned away right there from the LCL University, Dasmariñas, and finally the Kazakhs as well as the Vladimir respectively.
Yeah, so looking at the bans here, nothing really special, I should say, nothing weird. Some respect bans here and there, and DLSUD gonna jump on that Lulu. Very interesting support pick here. Possibly flex, I don't know. Let's see how SCT will respond.
Yep, still waiting for that pick. Looks like that will indeed be the Lulu first pick for DLSU right there. Going on to K, as you mentioned, could potentially be flex, but we don't really see that much.
I mean, I've seen Lulu go everywhere.
Yeah, pretty
even
much.
carry. She's a very versatile champion in my opinion, but most popularly played competitively in the support role. She provides a lot of utility, a lot of protection for your marksman. So very strong picker, but the response from SCT, Ezreal, and the Alistar locked in, and if this Ezreal is locked in, we have to talk about Kleptomancy in the preseason. A very strong rune on Ezreal because he can constantly proc that passive, where he constantly gets these items, he's consumed these blasts from the past, mana potions, and free gold as well. So very strong, and I do believe it is locked in the power bot lane coming from SCT. This is a very strong dual lane.
So there you have it. Meanwhile, though, we will have to see if this Ezreal will indeed be going ADC. Again, we had to see this Ezreal being flexed every now and then, but again, okay, never mind, I guess not. So there you go. A quick recap though, what has come out from DLSU, Dasmariñas. We have the Gragas as well as the Camille for both Mad God and Asta respectively. And Tristana going to be locked in for Babachin for the first rotation of SCT right there.
The Tristana lock is actually very interesting because we have seen Tristana go to the jungle.
Ah,
yeah,
true.
We have seen, and looks like SCT, they're pinching the marksman position, trying to deny as many picks from Wigeto as possible. Let's see what they will lock in for their fourth pick. It will be the Gnar. Very interesting here.
Quick recap of the bans though coming in for both sides within the second rotation. So they banned out the Kennen and the Jarvan the fourth from both Power and Tarzan respectively. Well, actually no. For rather Kennen and Jarvan both bans towards top side, since that Ezreal has already been revealed, and then the Kog'Maw and the Orianna from the LSUD.
Okay, so the Gnar is locked in, and looking at the top lane matchup here, Camille into Gnar. Camille is actually one of those champions that can deal with the Gnar. We all know Gnar can constantly kite champions, but Camille, she has enough gap closers and enough lockdown to actually keep the Gnar pinned down. So let's see how DLSU will play around that.
Yeah, so there you have it, guys. Looks like both sides have locked in their compositions right then and there. So interesting. So it looks like we're going to be seeing a Cassiopeia and Azir matchup in that mid lane. And with all said and done, looks like both sides just raring to get at it.
Yeah, so I do believe we will go for the jungle Ezreal. So I expect that to be running Dark Harvest in this preseason. I wouldn't be surprised though if he went Kleptoman just because of the strength of that rune on Ezreal. But if you do go that path, you won't be able to proc it as much as if you were laning.
Meanwhile though, for this mid lane between Arcmon and Snivy, because I mean for DLSUD, they've been pretty established these past few terms. Exactly. And interesting enough, because one of the things that was so hyped for DLSU last within the previous terms was that they always kind of fell a little bit short of making it all the way, but who knows? I'm really hoping that this might be their time, considering they've always been a consistent contender without a doubt. It's just that there were elements wherein they would fall short just when it matters the most. So
maybe this time they'll follow the footsteps of their Metro West counterparts and actually win LCL, because DLSU, they won the Metro West conference. Will DLSUD follow that?
That would be an interesting twist, you know, to have like two DLSL schools actually make it as champions in the LCL. Of course, given the new format, because of course, once again, for those of you that aren't up to date with the changes that we've had in the LCL as of recent, we're not crowning just one champion, but a total of 6 champions, 1 per conference. So yeah, it'll all come down to who we're gonna
more
be
bragging rights for everyone, more rewards, more prizes.
So I don't know, man. Really interesting right there. But of course, this will ultimately determine who we'll be seeing in the finals. So this is a best of 3. So at the end of the day, I mean, with these best of 3s, it's what we've consistently been talking about. It's not like the group stage wherein if you fumble once, you know, you still have a few more games to make up for it against different teams that you'll be facing. But in this best of 3, it's a little bit different. Whoever wins that first game technically has that momentum, has that positive mindset going into the further games. And it's a little bit of a less to work with in comparison to best of 5s. But nonetheless, we're going to have to see who will ultimately come to make it into the finals for the South Conference as we head into Game 1. Once again, this is De La Salle University Dasmariñas versus Siena College of Taytay.
Okay, so looking at the team comps here, I'd like to point out that SCT, they have very limited engage options. Even though they have a Gnar, the window where Gnar can actually engage is very, very limited. And the only form of hard engage they have is this Alistar. So if they botch that engage, the amount of disengage coming from DLSUD will just crush them in these team fights. Let's just wait and see how both teams decide to play around that.
Meanwhile, looking at both sides here, no sneaky sneakies. DLSUD definitely on top of their defense. If you notice, across the board, all entrances to their side of the jungle are being guarded out by each individual member, so wanting to avoid any hanky-panky that SCT might be going for. But looks like SCT themselves going to be restraining themselves. Again, it's the common thing that you'd somewhat see in these game ones, wherein it's kind of like dodging each other out. What both teams have managed to prepare in the midst of going from group stage to the playoffs.
Yeah, of course. Game 1, always a feeling out process, especially if you only faced your opponent once during the group stage. You're going to have a hard time trying to figure out what they want to do. So the early stages of these games will definitely be a feeling out process, trying to react to what your opponent throws at you.
You know, it looks like mid lane is going to be at it. Very chill, but then again, Arcman though, on this Azir, I really like how we've been seeing a lot more Azir as of this recent preseason after such a long way.
The early gank.
Tarzan though, king of the jungle, living up to his name, already gank on, gets a little bit of a poke there onto Arcman, almost at half his health, but still nothing particularly substantial. I like that. We might be seeing a lot of extra activity from Tarzan, especially running this Ezreal. But
whoa, dangerous trade.
Snivy though getting much more onto Arcman, forcing Arcman to get back under turret. We'll have to play it a little bit safer. Meanwhile, towards this bot lane, Babachin is taking quite the harass there from Wigado and K respectively. So it's kind of going both ways here.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that Arcman is running lethal tempo on this Azir. I do believe he could have ran something such as a Comet, which would have been more viable, but interesting choice of runes here.
I like the takedown, that early takedown coming in from K, getting rid of the blasting cone just to limit Tarzan's maneuverability as far as getting ganked towards the spot lane. Meanwhile, though, Snibby just really going at it onto Arcmon, though in the process of everything does lose out on quite a bit of money there. Meanwhile, that's going to be the knockup onto Wigato. Wigato forced to flash away. That will be the barrier popped up along with the heal coming in from K. A lot of summoner spells down. Good pressure coming in from SCT.
Yeah, but a bit of hesitation there coming from Babachin on just but whoa, Snibby, you are in trouble, my friend.
Oh no, looks like Arcmon gonna go in. Asta actually misses out on the body slam as Snibby manages to flash us out in the nick of time.
Ooh, just a bit late there on his mechanics. Asta could have possibly caught up there if he had predicted earlier that Snibby would have flashed the body slam, but looking back at the earlier bot lane gank, there was already a stacked explosive shot onto the Xayah without any more summoners left. So I think if the Tristana flashed forward and possibly auto-attack 2 more, but whoa, there's a gank mid!
Indeed, man. God goes in, and that will be first blood going into DLSUD's pocket.
Man, the range on Camille's hookshot right there, netting them first blood. That's huge for Azir in the mid lane.
Yeah, that was pretty good there coming in from Mad God. I don't think that's something that you don't normally expect, but yeah, looks like Power not estimating that Mad God would actually make a rotation to mid lane.
Oh, will they go for something bot lane? They're fairly low.
Looks like K and Wigato gonna get a little bit there.
Oh no.
Onto Hoof. Meanwhile, we'll just have to see. Looks like not gonna try for anything just yet. Take note, Asta is within the vicinity. Is he going to try something? This wave is pushing in on to Babachin and Hook, though, so looks like won't be pursuing that just yet.
Looks like he'll just take a drink and chill.
Yep.
Standing there. He is spotted by a ward, so, I mean, what can he actually look for? He's just going to walk in the bush.
Just continuously lingering.
Take a few chugs.
There. Yeah, just take a few chugs of alcohol here and there. Meanwhile, won't be pushing in just yet. Looks like Babachin and Hook will find themselves within the safety of their turrets, so no further push there for the meantime. Meanwhile, towards topside, Power actually pushing out the lane here, but overall, if you're going to look at things across the map, things are very much equal between most of everyone as far as CS goes, so nobody pulling the lead just yet, with the exception of that first blood going to Arcmon earlier.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Asta play around more in this mid lane because he already has his Azir ahead a bit. And that's how you have to play jungle. You need to snowball the lanes that are already working in your favor. And looking at this, that early gank also from Mad God, already giving Arcmon so much pressure in this lane. There's really nothing Snibby can do right now but farm under his tower.
Meanwhile, though, looks like Mad God lingering towards the side of SCT's jungle, trying to look for something. We'll go on to Power. Power just going to jump this way out of there. Just a little bit of a hop. We'll get a little bit of a trade. Look at the damage, though, going on to Power there.
Man, Camille's hookshot is one of the coolest looking abilities in League of Legends.
Yeah,
just feels good to use, man.
Aesthetically pleasing as well to look at. But, I mean, like, it feels like you're in one of those espionage movies, like Mission Impossible almost whenever you use it. So, yeah.
Or Attack on Titan if you're into
that.
Oh,
yeah, anime. There you go. That's true. Would have been nice if Camille was up against somewhere, like a champion, like Brand. There you go.
Yeah, but looking at what I said during pick and ban, like I said, Camille is one of those champions that has enough gap closers to deal with this Gnar, so he can't kite her forever.
Man, that is true, but meanwhile, though, it's very... I mean, we haven't been seeing much from Tarzan after that early aggression in that mid lane. But then again, I mean, I guess we are...
through the vines.
Oh, meanwhile, Asta looks like they're going to try for something. Power going to hop his way out of there. Hextech Ultimatum being popped by Mad God. Traps up Power, and down he goes. Mad God gets the kill.
Yeah, well-executed gank there. And even if Power flashed away, the Hextech Ultimatum would have locked him down. So no escape from that gank. Very well executed coming from the top in jungle of DLSUD.
Okay, and Wigato just continuing to get a little bit of harass here and there onto SCT, really getting their Pokemon. But then again, it is Xayah and Lulu, so it is somewhat expected. Meanwhile, Hook going to get the knockup onto K. Looks like they're going to try to push Lulu. That's going to be the root, though. But down that Lulu is going to go. Meanwhile, though, Wigato going to seek vengeance for his fallen support. But no, he is forced to back away. And that will be Babachin taking a bit there. That's going to be the stun. That will be the knock up into Babachin. Meanwhile, that will be the teleport coming in from Mad God, but a little bit in too late for the party, and that will end in a 2-4-0 in the bot lane.
Yeah, well played 2v2 there from H2O's bot lane. Whoa, Tarzan!
Tarzan just getting a few hits there onto Arcmon, further pushing him back into turret. But wow, that was great earlier in the bot lane. I mean, Hook getting a full combo onto K, just focus firing on that Lulu, knowing that's a very squishy target that they went for, and really paid off for them. I mean, getting a 2-4-0 to boot.
Yeah, that was a great 2v2 kill in the bot lane, really trying to claw their way back. I mean, the other lanes are feeling the pressure from DLSUD, so it's nice to see that one lane of SCTs trying to fight back, trying to give their team a lead.
Agree with you right there, man. Meanwhile, Power getting to shove in onto the top side of DLSUD.
Oh, what a
will be the stun! Complete lockdown onto Arcmon. Man, that was so fast.
There was no counterplay to that at all, with Arcmon picking heal over a cleanse perhaps,
Exactly.
but really great flash ulti there coming from Snibby on this Casio, but what, will they go for more?
Good coordination there coming in from
Rigato.
the mid side. Meanwhile, Rigato as well as Kader almost manages to dodge out the knockup. Meanwhile, looks like SCT will back away for the meantime.
Yeah, but that is an ult burn from the Zaya, so she'll be less safe for the next minute or so.
Let's go ahead and see how that'll work out for DLSUD though. Again, from what we've been seeing, a lot of moments where DLSUG forcing out, I mean, their summoner spells pretty much get forced out consistently within these first 10 minutes. Meanwhile, though, Hextech Multimatum coming in from Mad God. Maz managed to take him down, though. Power will seek vengeance at no further pursuit just yet, but wow, looks like the prey suddenly becomes the hunter in that case.
Yeah, Mad God not respecting the damage coming from Power there, and the Mega Gnar, the Gnar bar as well. He didn't time it as he would have liked, so even though Asta was coming for the gank, Power is able to pick up the kill in time.
Let's go ahead and see, meanwhile, towards this bot side. Continue. It's interesting because earlier we got to NK. They were continuously getting harassed onto Baba-chan and Hook. But then again, Hook, all it takes is that one proactive move onto K, that full collapse along with Baba-chan to really seal the deal. So it's kind of going both ways this bot lane now. And it's come to a point where we got to NK are playing it a little bit more safer than earlier. If we notice, DLSUD's bot lane continuously pushing towards the bot side, but now it's a little bit more restrained.
Yeah, SCT, they're definitely fighting back here, though they did not spot that control ward in the jungle. But looking back, knowing that SCT is the fairly new team in the LCL, it's good to see that even though they were under pressure early, they were able to fight back and push around the members of the LSUD.
Meanwhile, though, so bot side, Babachan getting a push out here towards the spot side as well. It's interesting because earlier within the first few minutes, we kind of saw moments where in DLSUD really getting their push on, but at the same time, for this bot side, at the same time, it's almost a reversal wherein
Summoner's Rift.
a little bit of a that was a lot of quick stuff happening, like
yeah.
But yeah,
what else flying all over Summoner's Rift. That was cool.
But yeah, I was also saying earlier, it's interesting because DLSUD, sila yung medyo
they're veterans.
Yeah, I mean they were veterans, but I mean aside from that, of course, like most of the action that we saw within the first few minutes was coming from them, but it's kind of come to a point wherein we're seeing a lot more proactivity from SCT now. So it's kind of swinging between both sides. There's no clear lead just yet. So, I mean, we'll just have to see once we kind of get out of that Tokyo Drift phase that we...
Tokyo Drift?
Yeah, that was like... it's not even much of a drift. Probably... yeah, like what to make of that.
Like we said earlier, in a best-of-3 series, it's definitely a feeling out process in the game 1. So during the early phases, we'll just see teams rather play hesitant, where they don't want to go for those big plays, and just try to go for their safe, low-risk, high-reward plays.
So there you have it, folks. Once again, of course, for those of you that have just tuned in, nanonood kayo ng semifinals for the Garena LOL Collegiate League 2017 Summer Tournament. This is, of course, the South Conference once again. Santa College Taytay as well as DLSU Dasmariñas have taken the stage for our first semifinals match of the game. Both teams wanting to make their way to the finals and hopefully get their spot at glory at becoming an LCL champion.
Yeah, some prestige there, knowing that you represented your school.
Yeah.
Now you have the bragging rights. We're the best team coming from the school. We're the best players.
Yeah, from the south. You guys got nothing on us. Yeah. So yeah, we'll just wait to get back into the game. But overall, I mean,
they're fixing Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, they're fixing Summoner's Rift right now. Getting a little bit of a fix here and there. That was pretty weird. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Suddenly just kind of scanning from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom.
They were giving us the experience of Camille's hook shot, where you fly around.
Okay, fair enough.
And everything passes by.
Summoner's
so
Rift, yeah, in Camille's eyes. Yeah. That's kind of what she sees every time she hooks her way in or out of fight. So, yeah, a little bit of a peek there. Meanwhile, just waiting for you to get back. But it's interesting because most of our LCL games, patapos na actually tayo sa summer term since it is December. Once we do come back next year, it's going to be a whole new, fresh year. So, tingnan natin who's eventually going to be capping it off for the South Conference right here. Once again, we are back in our game between DLSUD versus SCT.
Yeah.
6-5 right now. Oh, but okay, let's go ahead and check out what's transpired thus far. So, Mad God starting to pop off on this Camille for 1 and 2, but for SCT naman, it looks like we're seeing a power imbalance between both sides. Top lane leading the fray for DLSUD. Meanwhile, looks like Babachin will be spearheading 3-1 on this Tristana.
Yeah, I think both teams definitely playing off opposite sides of the map here. SCT, they want to play around this Tristana, who's fairly fed at the moment. Will be building towards that Infinity Edge, whereas for DLSUD, they want to play around Mad God, who's snowballing Camille versus the Narsh. The Camille is down in CS though, so that's one thing to take note of. But looking at this game, it's still fairly even across the map.
Meanwhile though, let's go ahead and see how this will work out. No turrets have been taken just yet for either side. Not even, actually, okay, so we do have our first dragon of the game. Mountain Drake going into DLSUD.
And there is another Mountain Drake respawning.
It's all about the objectives right now. It's just going to be, we're going to see a lot of objectives potentially being taken. Otherwise, that would be quite a shame to not see that Mountain Drake being put to good use, at least the bomb.
Yeah, and looking at core items completed here, already the Rod of Ages complete onto Snibby's Cassiopeia. Very, very good item on this Cassiopeia. Gonna help her scale better in towards the late game. Whereas Artmon opting for a Morellonomicon. Very interesting first buy on Azir. Some Azirs would prefer buying the Nashor's Tooth, but whoa, Mad God just solo kills power.
Living up to his name right there. Clearly a Mad God in the top right now. Meanwhile, looks like SCT gonna try to go for an offensive maneuver a little bit in too late. Good offensive vision coming in from them though, I gotta say. That's a lot of coverage that they have on the side of DLSUD spot side.
Yeah, and this is what I said during Champ Select. Camille is one of those champions who can deal with Gnar in the top lane. She has enough lockdown, she has enough gap close, and deals enough damage to actually take down an Gnar 1v1.
And unless SCT does anything, well, I guess it really depends on what their game plan is at this point. Because even with Tarzan, looks like they can do... Ooh, unfortunately, that is going to be the knockaway from Snubby. Mission not quite accomplished there by DLSUD. Is able to get this turret to substantial damage on the HP, but meanwhile Tarzan is going to be going for the response, going to help alleviate some of that shove coming in from the LSUD in the mid lane.
Yeah, if Cassiopeia flashed one frame too late, she would have been knocked back towards the Azir, so very well-timed flash there just after the body slam stun expires. Very well played from Jimmy to save his life.
Archmon trying to get down this turret is quite low if you're going to compare it to his own. And Wigato just shoving out this bot lane at the same time. It's pretty balanced, what we're seeing here. I would say, though, that there is definitely a lot more proactivity back onto the LSUD's court. It's kind of ping-pong right now.
Yeah, I think what allows them to play this proactively is Mad God's pressure up in the top lane. He doesn't need Acid to come up there and help him versus the Gnar because he's so fed. And it allows Acid to visit these other lanes and go for these proactive and aggressive plays.
Interesting enough, Trinity Force has already been completed by Mad God. That's going to be pretty nifty. I mean, along with the Tiamat.
It's going to be very nifty for him. I mean, a Camille who's 5-1-2 at 60 minutes, 100% kill participation, and he isn't even the jungler.
Exactly. And it's interesting to note that, okay, not just yet. Gonna
Juked
restrain
us.
himself. But yeah, it's interesting to note as well that earlier we've seen a substantial difference in CS between Mad God and Power. Like, that was Power's only small victory, but looks like even that's closing out right now just because of how much of a threat Mad God is right now that Power couldn't even deal with solo at this point.
Yeah, I think SCT's comp, they have to scale up. They need to work towards that late game where their carries get enough damage and the Gnar and Alistar get tankier. Because Ezreal as a jungler, if you don't get those early cheesy level 2 ganks off, you're really just going to be forced into trying to get as much farm as possible.
And that's kind of what we're seeing here. SCT looking for ways to transition, but overall, if they can't deal, then that might be tricky. Meanwhile, Mad God going to deal it out with Snivy. Look at the damage. Easily makes good work of the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, Snivy caught out in his own jungle there by Mad God. Of course, we did mention Camille has a lot of gap closers, and Cassiopeia not having flash. You're fairly mobile champion, so Mad God picks up another kill. Still 100% kill participation on this Camille.
Yes, and this is kind of Christmas for Mad God right now because there's a lot of targets that he could easily contend with and just take down 1v1.
And Christmas is coming fairly soon.
Yeah, that's true. You know, came earlier than it already is. Meanwhile, for this spot, it looks like Mad God making the rotation towards bot. Actually, all the members of DLSUD, but they're going to be making a retreat for the meantime.
Yeah, since DLSUD already took down the top tier 1 and mid tier 1 towers of SCT, it opens up the map for them and it allows them to rotate and move all of their vision to SCT's blue side jungle and potentially take down this bot tower from H2O.
Systematically played here by DLSUD. If you notice, everyone's just kind of lingering towards mid to bot side. And it is interesting to note that Dragon is going to be up in 1, and there you go. So it's currently live. So that is potentially another objective that DLSUD could potentially take. I mean, double mountain, that's going to make for easier takedown on objectives.
Yeah, there are pings going down onto the Baron, and with Mad God moving around the top lane, he does have teleport if SCT contests this, but I don't think they will be interested to do that. Whoa, Power, you are in trouble!
Indeed, Power getting trapped down by Mad God. That's as good as done. Wow. Seals the deal right there. Take no teleport is up for Mad God as well. Looks like this is going to be a full-on fight, and it's going in favor of DLSUD quite fast. Meanwhile, though, Babachin able to just devour the rest of DLSUD. Double kill for him right now. Mad God forced to back away a little bit in too late for the party. Forced to flash, and that will end. Looks like it's not done just yet. Arkmon trying to go for Snivy here. Manages to take him down. Meanwhile, he has to run away from both Babachin and Hyuk, but that's the damage. Quite a bit right there. Hyuk manages to shove away Arkmon, but only manages to sacrifice himself at the same time.
Will they go for the dive onto Babachin? This is very dangerous. TP coming in.
Gutsy. Triple kill right there for Arkmon. Damage is just too much. And that's somewhat of an unofficial ace.
Yeah, that was a 4v5 right there because Power got solo killed up in the top lane. Unfortunately for SCT, they weren't able to use the big Gnar ultimate in that team fight, which basically just sealed the entire thing for DLSUD. Very well played.
Very well played indeed. And I mean, it's such a shame because Babachan really got things going initially, but as soon as Mad God went for the response, it's just so tricky. But yeah, overall.
Yeah, so looking right here, Mad God unfortunately is not 100% kill participation anymore. That kinda... He's still fairly fed, and Power, oh no.
Power's just not having a good time at all this game.
His power level is fairly low this game.
Yep, not over 9,000, probably lingering around 1 to 3, but... Yeah.
1 to 5.
Oh, there you go, see? Another kill coming in from Mad God right there, just styling his way through this game, carrying the weight... Well, I wouldn't even say carrying the weight of DLSUD on the shoulders, because, I mean, even Arkmon, we've seen just how painful it is getting a triple kill in that one team fight.
Yeah, I think the players of DLSUD are playing fairly well, but Mad God is playing exceptional this game. He's really crushing his lane. Whoa, Tarzan.
Tarzan, not king of the jungle quite there anymore. Mad God just hunting him down. That was absolutely insane. Just goes straight right in, complimented by Asta.
Rigato.
Meanwhile, Rigato forced to deal with both Hyuk and Babachin, and down he goes. if there's one person that isn't having a good time on DLSUD, definitely Regatta right now, sitting at a 1-3. Meanwhile, it looks like DLSUD in the midst of everything that happened towards the bot side will be going for this inhibitor turret, will be going for inhibitor to boot. Looks like that's going to be diving onto power once again, knocks away Snibby right there. DLSUD has to be a bit careful. Those are 4 members. That's going to be the knockup onto Asta. Asta forced to be the sacrifice for the rest of DLSUD to retreat, and that will be an inhibitor saved by the Bell.
Yeah, decisive engage there coming from the Alistair. Just flashes onto the squishy Gragas. He didn't opt for the Cinderhawk build. He has the Runic Echo, so he's fairly squishy, and the members of SCT can burst him down fairly quickly.
Be careful here. DLSUD, meanwhile, Mad God is continuously being pursued by SCT, but looks like SCT, since we have reached past 20 minutes, is going to start establishing vision on this Baron. Looks like we do see a few pings here and there. Gonna try to establish control. Oh, actually, they're trying to go
very
for
dangerous.
it.
Whoa, it's already so low.
So low indeed. SCT, they managed to secure it. This could be the reversal right there. K forced to flash away. Arcmundo is caught.
They need to disengage.
Meanwhile, Mad God is gonna go straight in onto the fight. Goes for Babachan. Now Legendary does eventually get taken down by power, but that will be DLSUD continuing to pursue SCT right here. That will be the knocked up onto Wigato. Wigato taking a bit of damage there, but Arcmon just scaling through SCT. Power might be the next casualty. Asa continuing to chase him down along with Arcmon. Power jumps his way out of there, manages to slow Arcmon, and will retreat safely. Looks like that will be a total of 2 Baron buffs per serve.
Yeah, SCT, they took down the Baron very quickly right there, and the disengage wasn't that great from them, so it allowed the members of DLSUD to take them down. If they opted to just go full-on run away, I think they would have saved more Baron buffs, but with that being said, it does deny the Baron buff from DLSUD. This gives SCT breathing room.
Indeed, breathing room, and probably, hopefully, depending on how heavy they're able to go on the defense with this Baron on their side, hopefully help them transition into the later parts of this game. Like you mentioned, it all comes down to power and Hugh getting enough tankiness so that they could allow the rest of the heavy damage dealers from SCT to dish out what they can onto the LSUD, but we'll just have to see. It all comes down to how much they make the most of this Baron buff right here.
Yeah, Babachan is walking past that control, but whoa, Asta?
Asta trying to duke it out with Hook here. Snibby is within the vicinity as well, along with Arcmon. Looks like they're going to go for this Mad Cow right here. Snibby shows himself, will reveal himself to DLSUD, but this will be pursued. Mad God goes straight on to Hook. And that will be 1 target down for SCT. Looks like, man, oh man.
I think that's one way to show overkill right there, Arctic.
Yep.
I mean, that was a bit too much to take down just to support. That is Emperor's Divide down. What can SCT do?
You know what? I was looking for the right word to describe that. Overkill was indeed the right term.
There's really not much you can say aside from just overkill, really.
Yeah, they want some beef right there. And
dude, beef
they
is
got
good.
it. I agree with you. But still 19-11 on the scoreboard. Interesting to note though, I mean, with all the proactivity coming in from DLSUD, I was expecting a bigger of a goal difference, but then again, 5,000 is still pretty substantial. Not as big as I expected though, to be honest. But we'll just have to see DLSUD continuing on the offense. I mean, this Baron buff not phasing them the least bit. If anything, they're continuously dictating the tempo and just shoving in SCT to go on defense.
Yeah, it's very hard for SCT's comp to wave clear without the Justana there. Cassiopeia and Ezreal do not clear minions the best way. The only real forms of wave clear probably Nars, Boomerang, and the Giant. Whoa, they caught Arcmon!
Arcmon caught out right there. Looks like it's going to go back in. Mad God forced to contend with the rest of SCT from the backline. He's taking quite a bit of damage there. That will be Guardian Angel proc for him though. Arcmon trying to deal as much as he can along with the rest of the members of DLSUD. That will be Mad God going down though. DLSUD continuing on the offense though. Looks like Camille not needed, in which case Arcmon now on a triple kill. That will be the Quadra. Are we going to be seeing the Penta? No, he goes down. But that will be the ace for DLSUD. They're continuing, and there you go.
Arcmon did so much work in that team fight, getting 4 kills for himself. Unfortunately, he did not get his Penta this game, but with that being said, 3 Mountain Drakes on the side of DLSUD. The death timers are fairly long. Can they go for the end here?
Man, looks like that could indeed be the case. Let's go ahead and check out the death timers. Power as well as Hook will be up in just a few. They will have to back away for the meantime, but wow. With everyone just, after seeing Mad God from the backline going straight for him, Arcmon that just pretty much allowed Arkmon to free hit onto the rest of SCT, and man, that was so good for DLSUD right there.
Yeah, Arkmon definitely showed up in that team fight, making it, telling the other team that it isn't just Mad God that's fed. I'm an Azir as well, and look at his team fight right here. In this choke point, even though Arkmon was the first got out, he's able to flash away. Well, with that being said, they reset the fight with all of these zone tools, and Arkmon, he's just untouched throughout this entire fight. Look at his positioning.
Indeed, and overall, Arkmon, I mean, look at this. With Hook isolated from the rest of the members of SCT, definitely left a lot. It basically left the rest of SCT to deal with the Camille from the backline, and with that Emperor's Divide as well, blocking SCT from pursuing, they had no choice. They had to go for the Camille. And again, with the range on this Azir is crazy, and just allowed for a great clear. I mean, even though Arkmon went down in the end, still, I mean, the end result, getting an inhibitor.
Yeah, he did so much work that team fight, really putting DLSUD on his back, but still good job from everyone really just to save him initially, and then to transition into the cleanup, and that just gives so much more control for DLSUD.
25-14 right now. Looks like there's just no stopping our squad from Dasmarinas right now. They're going to go for this upper inhibitor turret. Looks like they will have to back away. SCT going full force on the defense to make sure that isn't going to be a taken objective by DLSUD.
Yeah,
they're trying to hold their ground here.
SCT, they can still win a miracle team fight here. They have that Gnar ultimate if that lands on key targets, and if Babachin is untouched during this team fight, the Tristana will still deal so much damage. So we'll just have to see how both teams play around that Gnar bar, because right now I think that'll make or break the game.
Interesting to note, Power, as far as itemization, went for Black Cleaver and Frozen Mallet.
He needed power.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess he does need that power, living up to his name right there. But yeah, I mean, doesn't make for the tankiest front line. Although Meganar, of course, in himself is tanky, but I mean, we'll just have to see how that ultimately rolls out for Power here.
Yeah, it's
and the rest of SCT.
Whoa, Mad God.
Mad God.
He's being mad.
Very, very mad. Just walking through SCT's jungle with no care in the world.
Yeah,
he could just grapple his way out of there, no problem.
Yeah, DLSUD, they're setting up the waves here, trying to get all of those minions pushing in at the same time, and it'll just apply so much more Vaporu.
Oh, that's gonna be Snibby getting caught out. Hextech ultimatum onto Snibby. Actually manages to shove away Mad God to avoid that full-on lockdown, and that will be the disengage from SCT.
Yeah, but that is a flash burn on this Cassiopeia. That is huge for the possible next team fight. And look at the vision control coming from DLSUD. This is a perfect opportunity for them to rush down this Baron. They have 3 Mountain Drakes. This is going to go down so fast. Look at that. It's already on 3K.
It's go! Less than 5 seconds. Making good work. And that's the power of triple Mountain Drake right there. Mad God not even needed. Just pushing out towards top side. And I'm speechless. That was just so fast.
Yeah, SCT, they have a huge mountain to climb up now, considering that 5 members of DLSU Dasmarinas have that Baron of all of these minions will be pushing in, and these towers will just get shredded if the members are allowed. Look at that damage.
Yeah, and SCT has pretty much has to scale Mount Olympus if ever they want to try to salvage this game. DLSUD looking to wait for
watch the Gnar bar
push in. That will be a turret down from SCT, another inhibitor turret, leaving that mid inhibitor vulnerable. Meanwhile, take note, DLSUD scaling their way towards the top side. That will be the last inhibitor turret down from SCT. How long can they go for the defense here? Meanwhile, 25-14, things are looking dire for SCT. They want to try to defend as hard as they can, but no. DLSUD continuing to shove in here. SCT are scattered by the Gragas ultimate.
It's very spread out.
Very spread out indeed, but DLSUD just shoving in all these waves. Babachin forced to back away. That will be the stopwatch coming in from him. Does manage to save himself. Arkmon gets the kill onto Snibby. A lot of the members SCT just getting shredded down. Tarzan and Babachin, the only surviving members, but I don't think they could go for the defense here. Mad God
need to hold.
Will live, and that will be 2 members of SCT. They will try to defend, but no, this Nexus is going down way too fast. 2 members couldn't defend. Congratulations, DLSUD, taking game 1 in this best of 3.
That was a very textbook siege setup there, coming from DLSUD, just allowing all the minions to do the work with the Baron buff as well, and not taking any chances going for a broken team fight right there. Even though they were spread out, all of the minions were just pushing against SCT, and a very well played game one from them, off of great performances from Mad God.
Indeed, and I gotta say, it was just a huge build-up from the LSUD at this point. Once Mad God got things going for himself, it's kind of like the good infection that you want, wherein transition towards spot side and just allowed the rest of DLSUD to scale from there. And I really like the teamwork from DLSUD overall, and who knows, this might be their potential path to getting their first champion. I'd like to see that personally, but then again, SCT, they still have a chance to defend, as that was just game one. When we come back, will DLSUD manage to propel themselves to the finals in a clean 2-0, or will SCT manage to scale things even 1-1? We'll just have to find out later on, guys. For the meantime, we're taking a quick break. I'm Arctic. With me is Chisto. This is the Garena LOL Collegiate League 2017 Summer Turn South Conference Semifinals. We'll be right back in just a few. Back in, Mad God forced to contend with the rest of SCT from the back line. He's taking quite a bit of damage there. That will be Guardian Angel proc for him, though. Arcmon trying to deal as much as he can along with the rest of the members of DLSUD. That will be Mad God going down, though. DLSUD continuing on the offense, though. Looks like Camille not needed, in which case Arcmon now on a triple kill. That will be the Quadra. Are we going to be seeing the Penta? No, he goes down, but that will be the ace for DLSUD. They're continuing, and there you go. SCT are scattered by the Gragas ultimate.
It's very spread out.
Very spread out indeed, but DLSUD just shoving in all these waves. Babachin forced to back away. That will be the stopwatch coming in from him. Does manage to save himself. Arcmon gets the kill out to Snippy. A lot of the members SCT just getting shredded down. Tarzan and Babachin, the only surviving members, but I don't think they could go for the defense here. Mad God
need to hold.
Will live, and that will be two members of SCT. They will try to defend, but no, this Nexus is going down way too fast. Two members couldn't defend. Congratulations, DLSUD, taking game one in this best of three.
That was a very textbook siege setup there, coming from
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.